The Library Bell Tower is not only the tallest structure on campus, but is one of the most iconic landmarks at Oklahoma State. Currently, it's undergoing a much-needed renovation. But before we see where the library is going, we'll take a look at where it's been. With some bell tower history, here's David Peters.
They started construction on the library in 1950 and they completed early 1953. And so they began moving materials into the building almost immediately. They were coming from all across campus. But the dedication ceremonies weren't held until May 8th of 1953. After the dedication ceremonies took place, then a faculty member, Arthur Bigelow, played a series of hymns on the new carillon, which is up in the tower. Carillon is a keyboard-like structure, very similar to a harpsichord. It's only got about 2 or 3 octaves. And he played some of Bennett, this is Henry G. Bennett and his wife Vera, some of their favorite hymns after the ceremony. The carillon was located in the tower. The carillon is a series of bells. They were Flemish bells predominantly. And this is what they used also to announce class changes, hour changes, those kinds of things. But you also could play tunes on this carillon. And so it was a very pleasant way of letting people know things were going on. During the holidays, they would play holiday fare, and so they would adjust the tunes that were physically played on the keyboard during the time of year. Carl Ampt was the faculty member most often who did that. He was on the faculty in the Department of Music, and he would play 3 times a week. He would have concerts up in the carillon. Nobody could see him playing, but they could hear him playing, and as the songs from the carillon could be heard all over campus and in town too. The tower is 182 feet high, so it was the tallest structure on the campus at the time. Previously, the power plant, which is located where Classroom Building is now, had a tower that was 125 feet high, but of course it was torn down as they prepared to build the Classroom Building. So the tower was a significant structure and provided really the center point for the library and for the campus. The library is probably the most photographed building on campus from alums and students and visitors. Most people will take a picture of the library, and so I think to have a well-preserved, a well-maintained, and a beautiful tower really adds to the whole dynamic of the building.
And now, details on the tower renovation. Here's John DeGeorge.
Pretty much over the years, the tower, just because of its location, it gets buffeted with a lot of heavy rain, high wind, and so the structure just tends to deteriorate over time. So by doing the renovation, you hope to get rid of those long-term problems, and you minimize your maintenance needs. The main things they're going to be doing are they're going to restore repair the limestone. They will seal the windows. The paint is all going to be stripped, and they'll put a new coat of paint on there. The wood sheathing has deteriorated over time, and so that's going to be repaired. And then they'll probably do some immediate work just around the bell tower itself. The rest of the roof, they'll get at a later date, but right now the focus will be just around the bell tower. Really what they've divided up into 3 phases. The first phase started back in the fall of 2014, and that continued on into the spring of this year. And that was mainly just to stabilize the area. They wanted to stabilize the limestone. They needed to clear gutters and drains, just to basically get it ready for the renovation. The second phase is the actual renovation, which we're in right now. That started in May. That will continue on until December. Right now, last I heard, they think they'll be able to hit that December deadline. They hope to start taking down the scaffolding that's up on the roof by September, October. And then phase 3 will probably be a few years down the road. I'm sure that's dependent on funding, but that would involve the north side and getting that roof replaced. In the past, what we would do is, as we detect problems, we would notify the facilities management. They would come out and they would address the immediate issue, but it wasn't always a long-term fix. So hopefully this renovation will take care of that and we'll fix these problems long-term. But the main reason for the renovation is with any structure. Over time, the materials, the assemblies, they get to their life expectancy, and they get to that point where it's time to go in there and replace those. So this is at the point we're at right now. So hopefully by the time December gets here, we'll see a whole new structure that looks very nice.